Hello everyone, and welcome to Raising Vibrations and your assignment today. And we're going to be doing Chart of the Day, and this is for the 4th and 5th of May 2016. I hope you're all safe and in some way, shape, or form heart-centered and doing your best to open up your consciousness and your heart in every way that you can. So, we've got an interesting set of alignments coming up for us. New moon that's going to be taking place for us within the next couple of days too. And this picture that you've got on the left-hand side here, or right-hand side, should I say, really captivates the energy for me. I feel with the retrograde season now beginning to start its like full initiation of how we're going about the current energy at this stage, I find this picture really fascinating. We've got this incredible journey ahead of us when we begin our lives on Earth. And for most of us, we experience it as the chaos of the trees and foresty, dense sort of earth and like I said, tree formation that you can actually see around over there. And it's there's kind of like noise all around us and information and misdirection and all sorts of madness that occurs in our lives as we go through it. And it can be very confusing for us to navigate our way in an authentic way and in a way that truly resonates with what we are all about. And if I understand correctly, most of where we are on the planet today, in contrast to where we were, say 34 years ago or 40 years ago, it's a massive difference. We have access to a lot more technology for us to be able to do and heal ourselves in certain ways. There's a lot more connectivity to the world, but there's also the dark side of it, or the shadow side of it, or the unconscious side of it. And so navigating our way through this journey that we call life can be very difficult. And when I see these little sort of branches that have been intertwined together are the kind of synchronicities and the paradigms and the frameworks that we use to give us a sense of centeredness. As you can see, if you go straight down that picture over there, there's a centeredness. And when you go down that road and you use these kind of portals, these kind of really major arcs, as it were, in our lives, they give us a sense of where we've been. And it's really, really interesting to me because the picture I'm trying to paint here is that when we go through life, there's so much that goes on. The Mercury retrograde, when Mercury goes retrograde, it's all about how our mental assimilation of information during the last 4 months is being processed in a very intuitive way. Okay, so the left brain gives way to the right brain, and we kind of digest all that information and then post it aside. And when Mercury goes direct again, we kind of have this freshness about our mental capacity. It's like a Windows or Microsoft, not Microsoft, but an Apple rebooting itself. Okay. Saturn goes retrograde, Jupiter goes retrograde, Pluto goes retrograde. All the planets that go retrograde during during the season all create these landmarks within ourselves that when we come out of them, we find a new shift in our perspective. And we constantly keep on changing portals. We constantly keep on changing directions, and it might seem that we have a kind of solid direction in terms of this major journey that you have been on. There's always going to be a core of what your soul is transporting itself on, but the variants and the ways that you experience that are always going to be looking different. And that's what I see this picture to be. And in relationship to the astrological chart that I'm going to bring up for us right now, that's where we are. Okay. The sun is in Taurus at the moment, as you can still see. I'll bring up my little pointer. There's the sun at 14 degrees. The moon is in Aries, and that's at 16 degrees. Now, this is for the 4th of April or 4th of May. So by tomorrow, the 5th of May, if you're watching this on the 5th of May, 2016, then the moon would have probably passed Uranus or on Uranus. in that vicinity. So there will be a sudden change in direction for us, whether it be subtle or dramatic, depending on how it goes for you. But that's where the sun and the moon is. And as you know, Taurus and Aries are parallel signs next to each other. So of course, within the next, like I said, day and a half, 2 days, we're going to be experiencing a new moon. And that's like really, really big for us, because the new moon in itself is something that's going to be in a Taurus sign. So of course, we're going to be hitting this natural, beautiful Earth trine here. And that's why I used the picture of the Earth trine, because that, or should I say the picture before, because it resonates with this, what is our path? And that's what this Earth trine is giving us a sense of clarity on. What is your path? You know, we tend to find ourselves as we journey along our Earth timeline in, like I said, with that picture, getting lost, asking questions, looking at outside sources for validation of our inner beingness that needs to be validated before we validate our external situations. We get lost in the cosmic dust and that is around us. And it can be easy to actually have that experience happen to us when we are in our Facebook / YouTube / social media states, where we kind of disassociate from reality because, you know, our microseconds are a little bit too intense to handle. And for the majority of you that are watching this, I don't actually suspect that you fall under that category, simply because, you know, this is something that's or it's a type of information that's more about awakening your consciousness. But nevertheless, we do find ourselves like going into that realm, and we can get lost and distracted over there, and we find ourselves actually losing connection with our inner state or our inner sanctuary, because we don't really know what is the difference between our inner voice and the outside noise that can influence us in some way, shape, or form. Like, this is a very abstract thing that I'm trying to portray here, but I'm sure you get the feeling of what I'm trying to say regarding getting lost in the cosmic dust. Anyway, so the Taurus trine, the Capricorn trine, the Virgo trine, which is those symbols that you see over there in this beautiful trine, and the new moon that's going to be taking place, is what is your direction? You know, the earth gives us direction. When you look at a river that is flowing, what gives the river its direction? It's the natural way that the earth is formed. And so the same thing happens here. And with this earth trine manifesting itself, it would be natural to say, what is your direction? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that what paradigm do you use? What inspires you? What sense of excitement and adventure allows you to navigate yourself through the journey that is life? And so if you look at the picture that's over here, you can see that this is what I would consider to be the Sagittarius path. You know, the Saturn in Sagittarius, the Neptune in Pisces, the Uranus in Aries. What are the frameworks that you use to jump into and explore and navigate and understand about the cosmos that you exist within? And this is up for grabs at this stage. This is being changed in a radical way. I know for me personally, I'm finding a lot of inspiration to take astrology and link it very, very strongly to the human body's medical condition. I'm somebody that has the moon oppose Neptune in my astrology chart. And this goes for many souls that have got a strong Neptune signature in your chart connected to your moon. When I'm like doing a lot of trauma release work, where I'm trying to allow the body to not have so much like, I don't know how to put it, when the muscles are tense, like tension in my body, then I actually monitor how my stomach is so rock hard all the time. And I realized that so much of my work that I still need to do on my body, and especially around the stomach area and of course the sacral chakra, not sacral chakra, but the solar plexus, needs to be around my security and my sense of trust, and like, how much do I deepen my relationship to the cosmos, and how much do I have why am I in warrior mode all the time, and not necessarily warrior mode with a sword and shield, but more along the lines of like, can I be more fluid in my relationship to my movements and stuff. And this is, as I've observed this, I've observed that a lot of astrological signatures can have effects where our like psychological relationship to our environment growing up and to the natural way that we respond to things can be influenced by that. And so the paradigm I want to jump into and really explore regarding astrology and its relationship to the physical body and how our psyche has and psychology has been influenced by whatever sort of angles and aspects you have. For me personally, I have Mars square Uranus in my birth chart, which, you know, sometimes it can be really difficult to handle because there's a lot of erratic sort of electricity flow going through my nervous system, and I've got a lot of Mercury in my astrology charts, of course, because you can hear that. And so there's a lot of like nervous energy that goes through my body, and I have to use a lot of magnesium and calcium to kind of allow the natural state of my muscular system to be relaxed in that sense. And I'm not necessarily tense because I'm not trusting, but it's the way that my body responds to its energy anyway. So making those two connections together gives a great overall understanding of maybe we can actually become more deeply connected to how the body works and healing it, and how astrology from a scientific perspective can actually validate these experiences, or give us a sense of, okay, there's a potential that this could occur, etc. And I know that this work has already been done, but to me, it's really fascinating to delve into. And so this is the point of my conversation, really, was that each of us gets this new, fresh paradigm perspective if you're listening very carefully to where you are right now in your life. And if you're listening to that very carefully, there's a new direction that's available for us. So, and I would say that probably the deepest way to get connected to this new direction is watch your frustrations, watch the things that are getting you uptight, watch the things that are, stimulating your sense of excitement at this point. And if there isn't anything, doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that that's not happening for you. It just would say that this is an opportunity to really just pause for a bit and kind of look at your life a little bit and ask yourself, how can I, or what is maybe being offered to me at this stage that is changing my direction? Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to do a new moon video fairly shortly, but I hope today's information was in some way, shape or form beneficial and helpful. Always make sure to just hit the like and subscribe button when you watch this video. And if you're interested in any of the services that I do offer as an astrologer and stuff, or any workshops that I do have available, you can contact me on raisingvibrationsastrology.com, and all the links are in the description. Okay, fantastic, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.